The first time we met would have been inside the Hope Centre. I was using a service for food and just a space to go and a bit of safe space basically. And they had a pool table in there at the time, and that's where I actually met Jess, was around the pool table playing pool. I was there because I was homeless. So basically the situation where I ended up homeless was I was struggling at school because I've suffered with anxiety ever since I was a child. It was very hard for me to make friends and stuff like that because I struggled with speaking to people, so I was isolated quite a lot of the time. So I was getting bullied at school, and then at home I felt pretty much the same. So at the age of 15 I ended up leaving my family home, and I moved in with a friend of mine and his family. It was fun to start with, and then probably a year on you've stayed at this friend's, you've stayed at that friend's, and you just kind of feel like you're beginning to be a burden. I'm 15 years of age, so I have no income, so I'm relying on them to feed me, to clothe me, to bed me, and it's just, you just feel like a burden on people. And that's when it started to go downhill, I started to struggle. I actually ended up opting, I got myself a tent, probably got 2-3 hours sleep a night. The little things that you don't realise that have gone, like just simply looking at the TV and being able to check what the time is, or just asking someone something because they're there. It's very, you're on your own. And then worrying about where you're going to get your meals from, how you're going to eat, because I can't cook because I live in a tent, so I have to go wherever I can to get food. It's very hard.
It was a long list of events that led up to my homelessness. I was in care as a child, moved from pillar to post, never had any help with budgeting or finances or anything like that. When it came to having my own property the first time, I had no clue on what to do. I ended up in debt and everything. I ended up to the point where I was in debt that it was swallowing me. It makes you feel like you're drowning from the inside. It generally feels like you can't get anywhere because any bit of money that you have has to go towards money that you owe, which then prevents you being able to eat properly, being able to live properly, being able to clothe yourself properly. I ended up giving up the flat and making myself homeless, thinking that would have been the better of a situation. Trust me, it wasn't. It was awful having to rely on other people just to have a roof over your head.
Well, for me, the Hope Centre, it was a lifeline throughout my homelessness, especially once I was in a tent, because when you're in a tent you don't have a kitchen, so you don't have a sink. The fact I could go in there and have a shower, because again, living in a tent there is no washing facilities, you've got your sleeping space and that's it. And the fact that you can go in there, you can have hot food.
For me, it was the main thing about being able to come in and talk to somebody and help me get my debts in a manageable condition to where I can get myself back to housing. When I first come to the Hope Centre, I was very angry because I didn't understand how I didn't get the support I needed leaving care to manage my bills, to manage a property, to be able to budget properly. I come to Hope and the support was here to help me learn debt management and budgeting, and it helped me resolve my debts, and it showed me that the issues that I was having was stuff that could have been accessed a lot earlier and resolved a lot earlier.
Me and Jess have now been together nearly 9 years, and we're now about to have a baby.
Our hopes and dreams for our baby is that it doesn't have to go through any of the hardships or struggles that we have as children and adults. We want them to be able to be financially stable.
Not only that, I want them to be able to understand the stuff they need in life that I wasn't taught and that Jess wasn't taught. So every year, the Hope Centre will ask churches and schools to make collections of tinned food and non-perishable foods.
I have now been housed myself, so I am not needing to use some of these services as much as what I would do, but they're crucial for people that still use services like the Hand Up service at Hope that need the food on a daily basis.
We ask them to put personalised messages on them because it's a really good touch. So for example, we've got these beans here from the harvest that says you can do this, which when you're at your lowest point and you're there thinking of you're being left, nobody's really worrying about you, it's a big pick-me-up to say things that you can do this, so I can get through this, and there is light at the end of the tunnel. And here we've got some custard here, which says, never stop looking up, keep your head held high, which is brilliant. As I said, these people, a lot of them, they're at the lowest of the low. They're getting to the point where they're thinking, nobody really cares. I'm just getting left, that this is not really a life. And to have someone give a message like that, it's people do care. There are people out there and people do care and people do want to help.